What's up, guys? I'm Lauren Mobley, the host of Library Unlock. Library life can be full of ups and downs, but you can always come kick it with me and my guests to laugh and learn. All things library, all the time. Or, at least until I change my mind. Here, I can guarantee you we'll mix things up and lock it down. You're in for a crafty treat today. This episode with Linda Martinez is sure to get your creative juices flowing. I hope you enjoy our conversation. Linda girl, let me just start by saying thank you for your patience. Because you know I'm
Well,
crazy. And I just appreciate you being so patient with me. Anyways, crazy story, but yeah, Linda's here. I'm here. So, those of you who don't know, I'm here with Linda Martinez. Tell us about yourself, Linda. Introduce yourself to our listeners.
hi, I'm Linda Martinez. Some people call me Linda the Librarian. That's what I'm known at school in my district as. I've had, this is my 18th year in education, 18 years. Wow. Yeah, I did 5 in kinder with the littles. That's where the patience comes from. And then that school made me their librarian. So I was in that same elementary for a total of 14 years, 9 years as their librarian. I finally moved up and went to middle school for a year. And it was still the virtual year that year. So I didn't get to meet a lot of the kids. And then I had the opportunity to move up to high school, a second chance high school. And we'll talk about that later, my second chance high school. And then, so I've been at that high school for 3 years. But it's not, well, do you want me to talk about all my high schools? Because now I have 3 high schools.
Hey, we can do what you want. We want to hear
Yes.
about you.
So my first year at that high school, they shut my campus down and they made my campus the virtual school for all the districts. So I had 1,400 virtual kids from pre-K 3 to the seniors. So since I was very versed in elementary, I was great with the littles. And then it was like pulling teeth trying to get like English 4 to do their research papers like virtually. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then our campus got rebranded the following year, and we became a school for young business professionals. So we only had a cohort of ninth graders. So we had about 50 ninth graders, and I loved it. And they are the best kids. This year we have ninth and 10th grade at that same campus, but I was given PTI. It's called Pathways Towards Independence. It's a special needs campus for 18 to 22-year-olds. So I service that campus as well. And then our district brought back that recovery program. So I'm also the librarian for the recovery program, which is it's a high school with kids from 18 to 26.
Wow, this is a lot of kids. But wait,
Yes.
so are you virtual at any of these campuses, or this is all in person for these
This is
schools?
all in person. So the way that last year I had to travel to the PTI campus, which was the special needs campus. This year, since I have 3 different campuses, and most of these special campuses have transportation, all that thing. So I'm housed at Ballou High School, but the other 2 campuses come to me. So
I'm interested too. What was that virtual year like at that middle school?
uh,
Because you did it twice. You did it with the middle school, and then you did it again with the PK through 12. Good googly, that's a wide
yeah,
gap.
it really was. The virtual year at the middle school, uh, I didn't get to meet a lot of the staff because they were unfamiliar. The librarian they had before, she was an older librarian and she wasn't very techy. So that's what their misconception of librarians were, just somebody that in the library.
Hmm.
So they didn't really utilize me the way I wanted to be. The principal, since I was on campus during that virtual year and it was very like there was hardly any kids on our campus, the principal saw how techy I was. So he utilized me on doing things for them. I really didn't get to see the staff. I think that's one of the reasons when they asked me to move to the high school, I said yes because I had it. I kind of say like Liberty was like the middle place because every time everybody would ask me like, "Oh, how do you like middle school?" and I was like, "It's not home." But I missed my elementary so much because I had been there 14 years. So I'd always tell people I'm a long way from home. And never felt like Liberty Middle School was a home to me, because I guess because there was that disconnection. I never got to meet the teachers. I never got to work with the kids. The kids were allowed back at the end of April.
Hmm.
So, and then May happens. And so I never got to meet the kids. So early June came up and they were like, hey, do you want to move to high school? And I was like, yeah, like that's the dream, right? To go to high school. And
Right.
so it was easy for me to make that transition, because I'm usually very, very loyal to my schools. 14 years in elementary. But I think Liberty, it wasn't Liberty's fault, my middle school. It was just there was no connection for me, and I felt like I wasn't doing librarian things,
Yeah.
because yeah.
But
So
I like that you brought up being loyal to your school and like going to high school is like the dream because I definitely know that's my dream. I mean, I came from teaching high school, so it's just like, dang. I mean, middle school is it's my first library gig, but if I get to high school, what y'all wouldn't be able to tell me nothing, boy. I'll be in that high school, but no.
yeah, and it's, being with the littles for so long and coming into high school, it's like it's so different. It's so different. And I do
It's
miss the
like pulling
littles.
teeth almost.
So, yeah, my high schoolers are really good. I think it's also because my district has pushed AR a lot, accelerated reader,
Mhm.
on the littles. And I when I first became a librarian, I was all about that too. Like, you need to get your points, and you need to read a million words. And as I've grown up, as I grown up, I realized that's not the way at all. Especially seeing my own children. I have two adult children. Um, yeah, I have two adult children, and one of them is a big time reader. And she told me very early on, if you force me to test, I'm not going to read anymore. And it's like, what did I want? Did I want to build a reader, or did I want somebody that was going to be recognized at the school to being the top reader?
You know
And
what? The tests are just like sucking the fun out of it. Like
definitely.
I'm like, just come tell me about the book. I remember when I my first year at my school, I delivered a book to this kid who like I guess they had it on hold or something. So I took it to their class, like, hey, special delivery, here's your book. And then they're like, oh great. Do I take a test after? How do I take the test? And I'm like, a test? You ain't taking no test, boy. You want to read this book or not?
Yeah, I and
What?
it's so sad because this is like drilled in their heads. So like, me and my daughter go to Barnes and Noble a lot, and we love to go to the children's section. Yes, I know I'm adult. My daughter is an adult too. We love going to read Piggy and Elephant in the children's section. They have a little stage, and me and my daughter are like reading and cracking
Little
up.
puppets.
Yeah, we think they're the funniest thing in the world. They so are. And every time we're there in the children's department, there's always a parent, like the kids asking to buy whatever book, and the parents asking, "Is that on your reading level? Is that in your
Oh,
ZPD?"
oh my
And
gosh.
I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh.
really? Like, let
Oh
the
my
kid buy
gosh.
the book.
The
Uh,
worst.
yeah,
Literally the
so
worst.
I've learned the error of my ways. So in high school, the kids are super turned off about reading, because yeah, they're just turned off with AR and reading. So when I introduce myself, I'm going to telling them, like, I'm not going to force you to check out a book. I'm not going to force you to test. It's like, you do you. So I think that's where like the crafting comes in,
Hmm.
because I'm
Come
known
on,
as
Segway. I didn't even have to do it.
I think I'm known as the crafty librarian, right? I
You
do a lot of crafts.
are.
I do a lot of crafts and artsy stuff in my library, and I think that's the way I buy kids in. My school, fortunately, we have an hour lunch. An hour lunch. Whoa.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy for real. So, wait. But remind me again, though. How old are the kids at your school?
the kids at my main school, which is my regular high school, which I see every day for lunch,
Ninth
they're
and 10th
ninth and
grade.
12th. They're ninth and 10th graders.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
So,
so tell me about this
there's about
lunch.
80 of them total.
But you know what I was gonna say before we start talking about lunch is I know you're super crafty, and I'm so mad that I'm not going to be able to present with you at
Oh,
TLA
I
because we were
know.
looking forward to that. It was going to be so much fun, but I'll be there in spirit. You and Karina put like a little picture of me on the table or something.
We just Photoshop you in.
Well,
I know, we
I
were
had the
so
baby
excited.
by then. You can put a
And it's
picture of
crazy
me and
how
the
I
baby.
called it, right? When you were going to announce it, I was like, I knew.
Yeah,
Uh,
so y'all, I was gonna present with Linda and Karina at TLA, and then I was looking up flights, and I was like, wait a minute, these dates feel very familiar. What? Oh, that's because it's around my due date. The baby, I think it'll be like 2 weeks after my due date or something like. Okay, so I don't think that's gonna work.
yeah.
Oh,
Next
wah,
year.
wah.
I don't know where it's
Yeah,
going to be
next
next
year.
year, but next year.
I hope
But
I think they
go
already
ahead.
have the dates too, because I was looking for Austin. I really want to go to Austin, but anyways, it's
Maybe
not in
because
Austin. It's not.
it's in
I'm gonna look it
Houston.
up. I'm about to look it up right now.
Well, if it's not in Austin, then it has to be in Houston because they were in Fort Worth last year.
It says 2025 is in Dallas.
Hmm.
April 1st through 4th. So if you want to go to TLA, guys, it's going to be in Dallas 2025. This year, of course, is in San Antonio,
San
but
Antonio.
I got to get there. But back to lunch. Tell me about lunch.
So yeah, so our campus is only 80 80 freshmen and sophomores. So they
Total?
have total.
Oh, that's
Again, my
small.
school is a specialized school. So we have the comprehensives that are the big monster high schools. Our
Hmm.
district is one of those giant districts here, at least here in in the valley where I'm from. I'm from the Rio Grande Valley. If you haven't heard, we're a vibe. Um, the 956, right? Uh, so my school is one of the little, I think people call them magnet schools, but it's just we call it a specialized high school. So our
Hmm.
district has three of them. We have one for health professions, we have one for STEM, and mine is for business professionals.
Okay.
So my little campus has, since we're just brand new, we just started with the cohort last year. We have a total of 80 kids of ninth graders and 10th graders. So we have an hour lunch. So the kids are allowed to eat in the cafeteria. They have a student lounge, and then of course the library. So the kids come in the library, and I kind of sit in the same spot I always sit in. And it's a table, and there's other tables. So kids will sit with me to eat, and they talk. The craziest thing, and this is a shout out to my school, is that I have three other teachers that come during their lunchtime to hang out with the kids as well.
Oh, I love that for
Yeah,
you.
and I'm very grateful for them because they are sitting there and they eat their lunch also with the kids, and they're talking to them, and it's just the relationships built is amazing.
I love
So
that.
yeah, so I'm sitting there, and of course I have kids around me too, and I always have some kind of thing I'm doing with my hands.
You're
So I'm
so
either folding
nice.
paper, and of course kids will be like, "Miss, can I make that? Can I do one too?" And so I sit there and I show them. So I think that's the way I got kids into the library because it's kind of interactive. We have a switch. I have a puzzle table and a Lego table out. We used to have a Spotify list. Uh,
The vibing.
yeah, so it was a place, and then I at our public library nearby, they had a self checkout machine that I was just so inspired by it. So I set up my own self out checkout in my elementary, and of course I brought it to my high school library so the kids know how to log in and log out, and so I don't have to get up and go behind my desk to go scan a book.
Girl,
Yeah,
I have that too. It is a game changer. Do you have a parent or a clerk?
I
Do
do
you have
not.
that? Okay, yeah, me neither. So I was like, I have to have self checkout. Like, it's impossible. I cannot teach a
Yeah.
class and then you try to have me come over here and check out your one piece. I need you to be able to do this on your own.
Definitely. And I mean, it's something that I even taught the littles to do. We had back in my elementary library, we had two computer stations. One was to check in, one was to check out. I disabled like the mouse and the keyboard so nobody could log out of the screens. And they would just scan their little ID cards and barcodes, and the teachers knew. And because I remember when I first became a librarian, I was like standing behind my circulation desk scanning in books. And like, mind you, in elementary, we're on a rotation. So every 45 minutes, you get a new grade level, back to back, back to back. And all these
Mm-mm.
books were coming in. And I was standing at my circulation desk, scanning all these books. And I'm like, okay, wait, they're making me get this really expensive master's to scan books all
Like
day.
this can't be life.
Yeah,
This can't be
I
life.
must be more valuable than this.
You had an epiphany, like
Yeah.
this is not right.
Yes. And that's when it hit. And I was like, oh no. So I like,
I
but
just
that's
see
what
you
it
there, like
was.
I just see you, like eyes glazed over with the scanner. Like there must be a light somewhere.
Wait a minute. I'm going into student debt because what?
Mm-mm. That's
Scanning
part of
book.
being a good librarian, though, automating those systems. So I'll make sure I put in the show notes how to set up self checkout because I don't remember who I learned how to set it up from. I know I saw it in person at my mentor school, but I don't know where I. Somebody has a blog about it. I'll find a blog.
I don't even know either because it was like, I feel like I've been a librarian for so long and how I don't like, I guess I have to add up the years. Wait, what is it? 13 years of being a
Wow,
librarian. So, um, yeah,
that's
yeah.
amazing. That's so cool. But okay, so tell us about this crafting because before you really brought it into the media center, was it something that you just like to do that, you're a totally crafty person? I see this beautiful mural behind you. You guys can't see it, but her backdrop is amazing. She said her daughters painted it. So just artsy person?
Uh, I don't want to say that I'm artsy. Maybe creative.
Mm.
I don't have like the drawing ability. My children, my two daughters can draw very very well. Um, I I create things with my hands all the time, and I always have to keep my hands busy. So when I'm creating, I just want. When I was little, I'm not gonna bash my mom, but when I was little, I always wanted to do all these crafts, and my mom was like, "Well, girl, like it was trash," like because my mom is
Oh,
like,
dang.
yeah, my mom is OCD. And she has a super clean house all the time, so it's kind of like, no, you can't have paints all over the house. No, you can't. So I would always have like little. I learned how to make friendship, like things that crafts that were like neat, and I wouldn't make messes
Oh,
because she wasn't down for mess.
yes,
And
okay.
but she's also really creative too. She makes all these beautiful wreaths, and like her house is immaculately decorated. The joke around her is like we'll invite people to her house, and she's like, "Why didn't you tell me? I'm so embarrassed. It's so dirty." And her house is like immaculate. Uh,
You showed me the ring camera footage. She was like leaving your house to cleaning
yeah,
it or
she's
something.
yeah. I'm telling you, she comes to my house to clean. So. So you know how when you become a parent, you kind of change things that you didn't like about your own parents. So that was one thing I did for my girls. Like I wanted them to create.
Yeah.
So from a very early age, they were drawing and painting and doing all these makeup stuff, and they're super creative. My youngest daughter is part of an organization called Destination Imagination, and it's a nationwide company. Well, it's a global company um, because they have a competition in Kansas City in May, and it's global. So like China and Japan are there, and they compete and they just create. Um, they have to solve a problem through engineering, and they have to
Oh.
create costumes and the set, and it's amazing. They have to come up with a song to introduce themselves, and it's just her people, right?
That sounds so cool. I'll make sure we put that in the show notes too, because that's really interesting. I'd like to learn more about that.
Destination
So,
Imagination.
what are some of your favorite crafts that you brought into the library? And I want to know too about keeping it neat because I was at a session at ASL and Martha Bongiorno was talking about, trusting the process and trusting the kids to be messy. And I really tried to let a little bit go, but it still irks me. It
No, I
still
get
irks
you.
me.
As a it's a crazy transition. As a kinder teacher, I was like very OCD about everything in the classroom. Like everything had a procedure, and everything had a place, and everything had to be organized. And
Yeah.
then when I first got into the library, that's how I wanted to run the library too. And I quickly realized you have to let go. You have to let go for your own sanity, right? Because things are
Uh,
not always going to be perfect. There's going to be people in and out of your space. The elementary I came from had 900 kids.
ooh,
You know,
good lord.
900 little ones in and out, 1,600 books in, 1,600 books out every week. It was craziness, right? So for me, by myself, even at the elementary, to shove all those books, it was impossible. So I had to
That's
get so I had to get some of that kid help. And
oh for sure. And they putting them in, but you best believe the kids are not shelving the books correctly.
right.
No matter, no matter how many times I show them, it's not gonna be right. That's funny
Right.
because I'm like, I have a class come in to do their book checkout, and I'm like following behind them, like fixing the big Nate. Like, I want these to look nice,
Yeah. Yeah. I totally
but
get you. So you have to let go of that. You have to for your own
mm,
sanity. Let go. Let it go. Just like Elsa says, let it go.
let it go. Ooh, we're gonna try. We're gonna try to let it go because yeah, I mean, I could see how it keeps you bottled down and more uptight if you would just let it go, like Elsa. All
hmm
right, we're gonna let it go. So tell me about your favorite crafts. Some of your some things that
Uh,
we can replicate that are easy, girl. Don't be giving us no difficult origami.
well, I'm like, I think I'm like not famously known, but I'm known for my book flowers. I make flowers out of books because if you don't know my librarian bestie, Q the librarian, I made her a flower crown for TLA last year because she sat on the Mavericks committee, and I made it out of comic books. That the the pages were so pretty, and I didn't. You know how those books are torn, the covers are all gone, and the books are so. I mean, the pages are so pretty, and you don't want to throw them away. So I find different ways to recycle books. Um, so I came up with these book flowers, and I hot glued them to a headband. I made her a crown. So of course she was the awe of the show.
Yeah,
Um,
we're gonna need pictures of all that. We're gonna need pictures of all that.
I think
And
when people come to my library, they really like. So again, my library. Oh, I don't think I said this. My library used to be an old. Well, my school building used to be an old Walmart.
what?
An old Walmart that was redone into a school.
They have walls
So
though.
yeah, like fake
Okay.
walls.
Oh,
Like the
but the
walls
ceiling's
don't
supposed to
go.
be tall.
Yeah, the ceilings. They go all the way to the ceilings, but you can see like the crack where like they built the wall. So the walls are
Mm,
like super paper thin in the entire school. And
I can't
I
imagine this.
yeah, and I think my library before wasn't my actual library. I think it was like a teacher lounge slash office. So it's not very big. And when I got there, it was really really ugly.
Mm.
So I tried to make it, I don't know, fun. So on one of the walls, I didn't have anything on it, and I wanted to do something. I wanted to put art, but I wanted to look something. I wanted to find something really really cool. So I had these 2003 encyclopedias that everybody was like, just throw them, right? Encyclopedias 2003. They're older than the kids that you're teaching right now, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, no, I'm gonna do something with them. I just didn't know what. Well, I made book art where I folded the pages to make like geometric shapes, and then I nailed them to the wall.
Oh.
Yeah, so they look really really cool. Um, I put paper like on the inside of the covers to match. I have some pillars in my library, and I covered them in like butcher paper kind of,
Uh-huh.
and I did the same thing on the inside of the books to match. So I think it looks really cool. We were invited to a local library conference here at the island. We live about an hour away from the beach, and it was a region one. Our Texas is broken up into regions. I feel like if you've listened to Karina's episode, you know about like our regions. Uh, so region one invited my school to go to show some of their makerspace crafts and the kids, and people were really impressed with like the different ideas you can do with books. At the time, also we made book pumpkins because it was October, so we were cutting books out of it into pumpkins.
How do you make these like different crafts accessible to the kids? Are
Well,
you like showing them? Like you leave like little tutorials out, like YouTube's up, like
It's during lunch usually because I'm sitting in that same spot. They have an hour. Kids devour their food in 10 minutes.
Right.
So it's better to keep them busy, right? So
Mm.
I have a table and there's about 8 chairs that sit with me, and I always have things available on one of my shelves. I have like pins and construction paper, and I have a little caddy with like glue and markers, and I just let them sit there and create with me. So I haven't gone far as like doing stations with. I don't know. I haven't let that control go. Like it's at my table.
If you want to craft,
If you
you
want to
better come
craft,
sit over here next
yeah,
to Miss Linda.
yes. If you're gonna craft, you got to come and sit next to me. Other than that, like, and it works out because the tables are really large and they're kind of they're together versus the rest of the library tables. Kids are eating and they're playing Uno or Jenga. So like, I think that the kids already know like, oh, if I want to make something, I'm gonna sit here.
Little craft station.
Yeah.
So, but how many kids do you have in there for lunch?
It varies, but I usually have about 20 to 40.
Oh, okay.
So like half of the school's there.
Right. It's like the popping place, and that's what we're all about. Trying to get
Mm-hmm.
the library popping. Do you
And with
notice any? I'm sorry. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead. You have a
I
question.
was just going to ask about management as far as behavior and resources, keeping everything neat and still a vibe, but under control in your library during lunch.
The kids are pretty good for the most part. Yes, I have two that I can think of. I'm not going to call them out by name, right? If they ever listen to
We
that
want the
podcast, they're going to be
names
like,
and the addresses.
I do have one that like insists on he plays soccer for one of the comprehensive high schools, and he insists on kicking a soccer ball in my little library, and I'm like, no, dude, that's not going to fly. I'm like, out. The joke is when they're doing something, I'm like, not in the library. Take it to the hallway. And the
Mm.
kids will look at me and they're just like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, I'm not supervising the hallway. Like, as long as you're not doing it here, right? But no, they're really, really good. Like I said, one of the teachers that's in there, he has like this really loud voice, and he's like, "Okay, like it's time to clean up, like and throw your trash away," because eating in the library can get messy.
Hmm.
And then in one of the corners of the library, I have like a broom, I have Clorox wipes, and then I have like a spray disinfectant and a roll of paper towels, so they know to clean up after themselves because they know like I don't raise my voice very often and I don't get upset. So like if I go and tell them something, they're like, ooh, like Miss Martinez actually
Mm.
told me something because that's not what I do. But they're rarely disrespectful. I actually was talking to some of them and I didn't tell them in a mean way or anything, but I have some bean bags and they love to lean on the bookshelves in the bean bags. So I told these two boys like, hey, like I don't mind that you do that, but can you like push the books back forward because like every time you do that, like all my books go. So then he like looked and he's like, oh, okay. So like when he gets up to leave, he now fixes the books.
Oh, that's sweet. That reminds me, literally this week, I had a kid. I walk in, first of all, when I get to work, there's already 20, 30 kids in the library because they have like a morning program. Like if you need
Okay.
to get dropped off before school, you meet in the library and there's somebody to watch you. Anyways, so I'm like setting up, turn on the computers, blah, blah, blah. And I walk over to one of my book displays, which is like in a little window sill. And this girl has her purse on top of my book. And I'm like, whose purse is this? why why would you do this, baby? Was this a good choice? You're just gonna knock over my display? They don't be thinking. Like,
Yeah.
bless their hearts.
And they don't
Really.
notice little things like your books pushed all the way forward. They don't notice things like that because they're little.
Oh
So,
my gosh. You saw that video I put up? Somebody was like going through the bookshelves, pushing them all the way back and flipping them around. So the spines were towards the back, like they were trying to like modern farmhouse my library shelves. Like,
oh, I would
okay,
die.
Joanna Gaines, that's not what we're doing.
I would
We need to
die.
see the spine.
Yeah, you need to see what title you're checking out. Definitely.
Oh my gosh.
Imagine. Oh, yeah. I can imagine. My kids are funny,
Okay.
though. I did a Pokemon scavenger hunt in the beginning of the school year where we hid Pokemon inside the book. So it was
Oh, I
teaching them
love
like the
that.
Destiny catalog. So you had to find the Pokemon and you had to,
Oh,
you
I'm
know,
writing that one down too.
yeah, I'll show you the template. But we're doing this, and then later on, like last month, we were doing an escape room because I have those breakout EDU boxes that I'm
Oh,
so
oh,
excited
you
for them.
rich girl.
Well, no, 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 no. Last year, I had to make my own. Like, I was like Amazoning all these locks, and I like did it all. I bought invisible pins, like out of my own money, because I don't know if you, again, like our budgets in Texas are very, very small, very, very small in library. I get $600 for these three campuses per year.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, that's another story. But I got escape boxes. They were like I think they were like $200 each, and my principal had money, but he was only giving it to the teachers. So one of the teachers was like, "Oh, I don't buy anything but colored paper. You can use my money." And I
Oh,
was
that
like,
was
"Oh my
nice.
goodness." So yeah,
Wow.
so I ordered the escape room boxes because that's the class I did the escape rooms with last year. So I was super excited. But because we were hiding the clues in the library, the kids were like looking in the books. And I'm like, I'm not crazy enough to put a clue in. Yeah, they're like looking, and I'm like, oh, they're going to mess up my books. I'm like, wait, wait. There's no clues in the books. Yeah,
Pause.
yeah. Look somewhere else.
I cannot. So let's talk a little bit about the money then. What are some suggestions you have for librarians who do have minuscule budgets and want to do these cool things, but also don't want to spend their own money? Because Lord
Yeah,
knows that's me.
donors choose.
Hmm.
Donors choose. Donors choose. Donors choose is a big one. I want to say, is this episode going to be out before the 17th?
Yeah, this is gonna air on on Monday.
Because I think the 17th, they're going to have like a double where all donations will be doubled. So if you're not,
Oh,
if you don't have a grant out there right now, write something up. Um, I do a lot of First Book. I don't know if you're familiar with First Book.
yes,
First
very
Book
much
always
so.
has like promo codes. First Book is not a vendor through my school district, so we're not allowed to purchase through First Book through our school accounts. But like, I just scored 5 boxes of Legos for $3, so that's a great buy. The codes are always there. There's a Facebook group with codes that people are sharing.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
Rewind.
it's like First Book educators or something like that.
Oh,
But
okay.
I really pay attention to emails. I don't know if it's my scatterbrainness that I have, but I click on like I go through my clutter and my junk emails, especially the newsletters from like publishers and anything library, and they'll usually have some kind of newsletter, and I kind of like skim through it, and usually somewhere in there there's some kind of giveaway or
Hmm.
sweepstakes, and I always try entering, so I get these like free books that get mailed. I know at the beginning of the school year I don't even know what I entered, but I ended up getting like 6 board games. Like somebody sent me board games, and I was
That's
like,
awesome.
yay! So
That
I
is
always
so
look for like
awesome.
grants and opportunities. The Laura Bush grant is something that the deadline just passed. I was awarded that at the middle school. Um, I just kind of look around, but mostly my stuff comes from Donors Choose and First Book. First
You
Book
know,
had this amazing promotion where they had these craft kits. You would get 18 of them for like $11. So I ended up buying 3 kinds for my kids, and they're hard to do. One's like quilting,
wow.
one's felting, one's sewing, and they came up with these little boxes, and we're gonna sit there and that's what we're gonna tackle soon because,
I love that. I didn't even know they did all that. I knew about the
mhm,
Legos, but I
yeah.
didn't know about these craft kits. I actually got a it was a first book and Dee Dee's discount fundraiser.
Oh yeah.
So if there's a Dee Dee's discount by you, you can I guess apply and
Mm-hmm.
then a portion of the money they make for like the month a month or whatever will go towards you buying books from First Book. So I got that, and that was really helpful. That was really nice.
Yeah, and last year they had well they had something this year with Build a Bear. It wasn't as good, but last year they had this thing where you applied for a grant and they would send you Build a Bears to your school. So my campus last year got 40 Build a Bears, and we ended up giving them to all the girls at our school for Christmas.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Okay. I'm taking all these notes, guys. So you guys don't worry. I'm gonna put all this in the show notes. Linda, we're at our time. We had me and Linda. We could keep going though. For real, you gave us some great ideas. These are amazing. Before I
Thank
let you
you.
go, I wanted to ask, what are you reading?
What am I reading? Okay, so I'm reading two books right now because I'm sitting on Tatius. Tatius is a Texas list for 9th through 12th graders. I just started it January 1st, and Tatius, I was like, what does Tatius even mean? It means friends or allies. So I thought that was great because the book has, the list has a bunch of a diversity on it. So I'm currently listening to actually Check and Mate because it was nominated, part of, and then Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. Maybe. I think so. I'm pretty sure.
I'll fix it in the
And
show notes if it's wrong. Don't worry.
okay, and then I'm very excited because I got an Austin public library card because I'm about 5 hours away from Austin. But I needed an ebook for the list, and I'm that one I started yesterday, and I'm just barely getting into it. But it's called All That's Left to Say by Emery Lord.
Ooh.
So yeah, so I'm listening to one in the car and while I'm getting ready, and then I have one that I'm an ebook that I'm reading because that's my reading challenge of the year, being on the
Yeah,
Statius list.
you're gonna be
Yeah,
reading a lot, girl, on those
yeah.
reading committees for real.
These are books 9 and 10 for the year so far since January 1st.
Busy.
Yeah.
But the audiobooks really help. I
Oh, they
feel
do.
like I could zoom through a book in a day or two with that audiobook.
I'm not. I can't listen to higher than 1.4 though speed. I know some people listen to like three times three
Right.
or
Amanda
even.
Hunt, we're talking about
Oh
you.
no, yeah. I no me. I'm still. I need time to process. So it's 1.4 is the fastest I'm gonna go.
I feel like I started off slow and then I was like, okay, we got to go faster. And
Yeah.
then now I'm at like 2.5.
Ooh.
Right? You see me, girl. That's why I be
Yeah.
moving fast. But it did like she say, like Amanda said, kind of take some training. Um
Yeah. I think Amanda just posted on her Instagram that she was like a 3.3. I'm like, what are you saying? Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. No. Mm-mm.
That's hilarious. Linda, thank you so much for coming. Before I let you go, will you tell our listeners where they can find you, they can connect and get some more of your awesome ideas?
Where can they find me? I am on Instagram. It's at Autumn in the 956. My name is actually Linda Autumn. Linda Autumn. So Autumn in the 956 because that's my area code. And I'm on Twitter with the same handle, Autumn in the 956. I also have my Blue Library page, BALLEW Library, because on my Instagram page, you're gonna see it's not just my library life. It's gonna be my kids because I love my kids and my nephews, and what goes on here in the valley. It's not just library world. A lot of it is, but so if you don't want to see like my stuff, just follow my school page, the Baloo Library. That's where it's all library stuff.
Gotcha. Well, I'm totally a stalker and I'm interested in your personal life, but yeah.
And how we drink our sparkling water.
Right. Yes.
Mhm.
Sparkling water. It's great. Linda, thank you so much again. This is a great conversation. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Thank you. I was so
Kisses.
honored to be here, and I was really nervous. But Lauren's the best.
Yeah, right. Okay. I'm going to get right there on that note.
You are, girl. You are.
Isn't Linda great? I freaking adore her. I hope this conversation gave you some new and fresh ideas. If you enjoyed listening, please consider leaving a review, sharing with a friend, and following for more content. Look forward to next week when you'll hear my chat with my Georgia sister, Megan Ford.